So you can follow the channel. You know I have many interests, and one of them is computers. I am a total Mac addict. I used to get the magazine even, and I was introduced to them in 1987 about, and it's given me so many tools and power, which I then started a web business later on, and basically that's what pays for the hobbies. You know, you have to have income to pay for your hobbies. So, but sometimes the Mac gets old. This is a 2012. We're in 2025, and this one was actually given to me because they quit using it, couldn't update it, couldn't, they just, and it was slow. There was something, I don't know what went wrong. I don't know what was loaded on it, but something was causing this thing to be excessively slow. I did a little cleanup on it, got it much faster, but it was still pretty slow. But it's old. Had 4 gig of RAM, and today's standards that's low. Had the old spin hard drive, and a friend had also given me a laptop because they knew I was into Linux, and they said, "Brad, why don't you just use this and try it out?" And they knew that I wanted to learn more about it and make me better with my servers, even though you don't use the GUI on the servers. But I learned a couple things. So one is, it's not just the Mac operating system I love, it's the Mac hardware too. So on the other laptop, which I've already returned, and I don't have it here, but nothing wrong with it, if you're used to it, but it was not an Apple computer. It was not an Apple laptop. And so it was like asking me to do 2 things. First of all, get used to other hardware and get used to a different operating system. And the other thing I learned was Linux distributions vary in their feel. So the distribution that was loaded on that laptop gave a Windows feel. Well, I'm not a Windows user, so I don't want that feel. So that was the second thing I learned. And it was nice enough to give me a USB stick loaded with Ubuntu. And I looked it up, and Ubuntu has more of a Mac feel. So I put it in and loaded it on this laptop. And it loaded. It loaded nice. Went smooth. The hardware pretty much worked. Putting it to sleep, I don't think it likes that, but that's okay. I pretty much, when I'm done working, I pretty much do a shutdown. I used to do a sleep a lot, ran into some issues. Laptop got jarred when it was in my case, and it heated up, and so I don't really believe in putting them to sleep long term, short term maybe. But it was still a little slow. Like from power on to this screen was like 1 minute 22 seconds. And I'm used to it being faster. So I said, you know what? This looks promising. The battery seems good in this laptop. It didn't seem to drain fast. It seemed to have more life in it. Not that I couldn't change it, but it's just one less thing I would have to change. So I thought, okay, for definitely less than $200, I could get a solid state hard drive and put 16 gig of RAM in it. Did it, reloaded Ubuntu, and now we're down to 19 seconds from power on to login screen. So much, much better. And so let's just, kind of a Mac user using Ubuntu. So what did I notice? Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to log in here. So there's a couple small things that I have to get used to. So the biggest one for me, and this might sound crazy, is the cut and copy, or copy paste. So normally I do it with my thumb, copy, paste, but with Ubuntu I need to do the control key copy paste. So I just need to think which computer am I on. I moved the dock to the bottom. I made it auto hide. I took the icons down a size to give me more of that Mac feel. For powering down, I didn't know where it was at first, but need to go to the battery, click that, and then you can power off. So really what it comes down to, there's small things. But I will say this, the Mac OS is definitely refined. I mean, I love it. I'm not going to be changing on that regard. I do. But for an older laptop that still has life in it, and you want to go to the latest browser, you don't want to get that warning that your browser's outdated and security and all that stuff. And it's true. This is an alternative. So, love the Apple hardware, and then going to Ubuntu isn't a killer, but switching from Apple hardware and switching to a different OS is much harder for me anyways. So that's my little story of trying Linux on a Mac, and this thing should be solid. I mean, the battery's good with the solid state hard drive, which I think I put in a terabyte, probably overkill, and then the 16 gig of RAM. And honestly, for doing website stuff, you really don't use intense. It's not like doing video editing or anything like that. So just a little side note. MacBook Pro 2012, I think it's 9,2, late 2012, 13-inch, loaded with the latest and greatest Ubuntu, and doing the software updates isn't bad. Go to I think it was the application icon, or your settings and stuff is all over here. Click that and you can get to everything, and just run your software updates. And the first time there was a lot of updates, but after that, actually I haven't checked in a week. Could be more updates. And that's the way the Linux servers are too. They're updating quite frequently. You have to stay ahead of you have to stay on top of the security. Okay. Little side note, but important for me, because that's how I make my or pay for my hobbies. Okay. Thanks for watching.